ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरीचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनविरह कातुरादिवाह पुत्रेति तन्मयतया सर्वो विनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपीकांत राधाकांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। भक्त्या विहीनाय अपराधलक्षे क्षिप्तस्य कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि तं शरणं प्रपन्न वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। You were able to sing this song written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. How are you able to sing this song? Because of the mercy of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He is very pleased to you. That's why. धया तो विषयान् पुंसा संग संतेषु जायते संग संजायते कामः काम क्रोध अभी जायते. We were hearing this verse from Bhagavad Gita. By continuously meditating on the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment to them. Attachment gives rise to lust, which in turn lead to the awakening of anger. The whole channel. Krishna is telling the whole system how these attachments by which we get entangled, how it starts with by meditating on that object. A businessman meditating on business and money. Anyone meditating on the attraction get attached to that source of that object of attraction. And there's so many directions. But what happens? Attachment gives rise to lust. Lust here means greed. To achieve that. And when it is not possible to achieve the desired greed, it turns out to anger. That's the source of anger. What's the source of anger? Meditation. On what? Sense objects. That's why there is fight. You know. Someone is unmuted. I can hear some sounds. Bhagavan Krishna says, control of the mind is a fundamental means by which those who are sthit pragya control their external senses. Sthit pragya means those who are fixed, those who are sober and calm. Control of the mind is a fundamental means by which those who are sthit pragya control their external senses. There's a fundamental principle. Mm. However, sorry, however, hear from me, O Arjun, Krishna is saying, however, hear from me, O Arjun, about what happens when one is unable to fully control his mind. First, he's explaining about the qualities of those who are sthita pragya, those practitioners who are fixed in their practice. They don't deviate. They are known as sthita pragya. So their fundamental lies on uh, fix and controlling the mind. But Krishna is specifically telling Arjun about what happens when one is unable to control his mind. Hear from me. By meditating on sense objects, one develops attachment, from which lust, or we can say excessive desire for those objects, awakens. We heard in detail in many eating examples, food examples yesterday. Yeah, but that was just one example, but it applies to every other means of attachment. By meditating on sense objects, one develops attachment, from which excessive desires for those objects awaken. Anger then arises it for some reason the fulfillment of this desire is obstructed. That's the whole channel. When we get angry, when we get anger because our desire is not getting fulfilled, that's the source of anger. And why the desire is not getting fulfilled? Because our we want to attain that particular enjoyment. We want to attain that. And when there is any obstruction in that, immediately anger. But if anger is the last limit, Krishna further says, no. What happened with that anger? How this anger is not worthy of, how this anger leads to what? How this anger disturbs the consciousness. How? He further explained that. Krodh bhavati sammoha, sammoha smriti vibrama. Anger gives rise to utter delusion. And from such delusion comes loss of memory. Loss of memory, what do you mean? Loss of memory? Person starts forgetting things, what I ate yesterday, what I ate last week. Do you remember what you ate 5 days back? Loss of memory. It's not meaning that. Here, loss of memory means forgetting the instructions of the scriptures. From such delusion comes loss of memory, forgetting the instructions of the scriptures. That's called loss of memory. What we have heard, what we have read, start forgetting that. Because anger is so much overpowered, person lost his, his balance. Lost his balance means whatever heard or whatever read or practiced, forgetting that. Loss of memory destroys one's intelligence. When loss of memory is there, then intelligence doesn't work. And when intelligence is destroyed, one's entire spiritual direction in life is lost. One then falls into the ocean of material existence because of loss of intelligence. And everything is ruined. So it starts from meditating. Understand? That's the principle. Krishna consciousness, meditating on bhajan, then meditating on bhajani vastu. Meditating on bhajan means our practices, how I can grow in my practices, how I can, I have to manipulate, not manipulate, sorry, how I can, what's that word? How I can design my schedule so that I can chant more or read more. Start meditating on those practices. That's called meditating on bhajan. Then, with that practices comes the meditation on bhajani vastu. The object of meditation means Krishna. In this state, how we can meditate on Krishna? I mean, what we meditate on Krishna? Oh, he's like dark complexion. He's wearing pitambar. What is that meditation? Just artificial. With our senses, artificially meditating on Krishna. Actually, he's the object of meditation. But in this state of sadhan, practice, we meditate on bhajan first of all. How I can improve my sadhan, my practice. Meditating on that. What practices I was doing last year? What practices I'm doing this year? How I'm going to develop my practices? How I'm going to grow in my work, in my services, in my dedication? All these details. And in this way, while sleeping, while eating, there's always the urge. Oh, I didn't complete my rounds. Oh, my schedule. That also turns to anger. That also turns to anger. But now this anger is different. I mean to say, the very first thing in the morning, we want to chant mantras. Where is my beads? Where is my beads? Where is my beads? Like addiction. To chant 1 or 2 rounds, shanti. But if some important message, important call, or something happened and we are entangled in that, and it's not able to chant the rounds, and now it's 9:30, 10 o'clock, become angry. Because the object of that attachment getting disturbed, obstructed there. But now this anger is Krishna is the center of this anger. Our bhajan is the center of this anger. That doesn't mean you start slapping someone. But this is increasing the curiosity. And Krishna likes to see that. That he or she is not doing well without chanting and without serving me. I come across many devotees, and they have this practice of chanting 64 rounds. And if they are not in one day, they get so upset. They're finding every single time to chant. But by meditating on the sense object, Bhayatu Vishnu Punsam Sangas Teshu Sangajayate. Sanga Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodha Vijayate. By meditating on object of senses, a person develops attachment. That's obvious. When it is not done, then anger. When anger there, then loss of memory. When loss of memory, then intelligence loss. When intelligence lost, everything is lost. So Krishna is giving us these signs. From anger comes delusion, in which there is a loss of discrimination between what is to be done and what is not to be done. Loss of discrimination, loss of balance. Understand? When the jiva is in deluded condition, he forgets the instruction of the scriptures, which are the cause of mm, inauspiciousness for him. When his memory is lost, his intelligence lost the capacity to function properly. After that, the sadhak again falls into the well of material life. That's the whole channel. Starts with meditation. Mm. So this is one word. Another, अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते माम अनन्य भाग साधुरेव समन्तव्य सम्यक व्यसति ही सह. Krishna saying in this Raj Guhya Yoga 9.30, very important verse. See what he says. Even if a man of abominable character engages in Ananya Bhajan means one-pointed devotion, exclusive devotion to me, he is still to be considered a sadhu because his intelligence is firmly fixed in bhakti to me. Understand? Even if a man of abominable character. Now, what our acharyas have to say about this? Remember, I was telling about this. Srila Bhakti Thakur resolved this. In that Tika commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, "My attachment to my devotee is natural." Krishna is saying this. My attachment to my devotee is natural. Even a mother, she attached to the child. That's natural. No one has to tell the mother. Mother lost one child. When she saw this right in front of her eyes, there was no tears in her eyes. She just got stunned and shocked because she lost her balance. And what people were doing? Slapping that mother, shaking that mother, bringing her back to her consciousness. Because if she will not cry, then she will lost her balance forever in her life. Hearing a shocking news, if you don't react to that, that means something wrong. Right in front of mother, the child died. Young baby died. And she's just looking, but not crying. No tears. That means this is unusual. So other ladies, other mothers came forward and they are trying to shake her, slapping her, pinching her because she got this shock. She's supposed to cry. If she is crying, she will regain her intelligence. Otherwise, loss of balance. So the affection is natural. It is not said or it is not developed. Krishna said, my attachment to my devotee is natural. Even if his behavior is degraded, my attachment to him is not lost, and I make him supremely righteous. That's the term we call Krishna Bhaktavatsal, something which we can't harmonize, but of course, Krishna has more better understanding than us. Yeah? Gurudev used to say, "Oh, Krishna must be having little more understanding than us." Gurudev used to ask us, "Little more than us because he's Bhagwan? Is it little more?" He is looking from a very high dimension. I give this example many times. If you're standing on 30th floor, if a person is standing on the first floor, how much can you see and how much can he see? He's looking things from high dimension. That's why Srila Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, he said, I was reading this quotation. It's mentioned in one of his books. We don't want to become a recipient of the department of justice of Krishna, but we want to become recipient of the department of the compassion of Krishna. Srila Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, his words were not from this world. His English and his pronunciation and titles and his way of expression, not ordinary. That's why his name of his title of his books is totally different, beyond this material world. So he's saying, not in the jurisdiction of the justice, but in the jurisdiction of compassion. Because if he applies his justice, we all are failure. We are offenders each and every moment. The worst offense is Satatam Smaranam Vishnu Vismratam Na Jatachit. The essence of scripture says, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. 1 second forgetting Krishna is offense towards Krishna. And if we start applying his justice, we'll be killed every moment. His potencies will beat us. Forgetting the Lord, he gave you everything and you're not repaying him. So Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj said, don't look us from the eyes of your justice. You will look us from the eye of your compassion. And if you look from the eye of compassion, then you'll not find anyone more degraded than me. Yogyata vichare kichu nahi pai tomar karuna sar. You'll not find any quality in me. So please, don't try to judge me. Oh Krishna, oh Prabhu. If you try to judge me, you'll not find any quality in me. So then, will I always be bereft of your association and your compassion? So don't apply justice to me, please, because I know I'll not be qualified in that dimension of justice. Rather, look me from the eyes of compassion. And when you look from the eyes of compassion, who can be more qualified candidate you get? Because I am Patit, I am fallen, and you are Patit Pavan. So make your name, make your name justified. Make your name be renowned everywhere that you are Patit Pavan. Krishna said, my attachment to him is not lost, and I make him supremely righteous. For this reason, Shri Bhagavan speaks this verse beginning with Api Chet. That's his natural attachment to his devotees. Natural. Suduracharaha means that even if he is addicted to killing others, so listen, by hearing this, we should not take advantage of the words of Krishna, because in 10 offenses of Harinam, one offense is uh, occurring sin on the pretext of chanting Harinam, or with the advantage, taking the advantage of Harinam. Or that Harinam, excuse all my offense, let me do some more offense. And later I will chant 2 rounds more this offense. So when we hearing these words of Krishna, we don't have to take advantage of this compassion and mercy. Otherwise, this is a greater offense. So, Sudurachara means that even if he is addicted to killing others, to have illicit relationship with women, and to being attached to others' wealth, if he engages in bhajan of me, he is surely saintly. Can we digest this? I can't digest this. Demigods, Yamraj, how is possible? What are you saying, Prabhu? Killing others, illicit relationship, and then attached to other wealth, still considered him saintly? How? If he engages in bhajan of me, he is surely saintly. What type of bhajan must he perform? Question mark. No, because the condition is there. He is engaged in bhajan of me. What kind of bhajan must he perform? In answer to this, Bhagavan says, Ananya Bhak. He is a sadhu who does not worship any demigod but only worships me. That's the condition. Who does not engage in any fruitive work, karma, and speculative gyan, knowledge, but only engages in bhakti to me. And who does not desire any happiness, such as attainment of a kingdom, but only desire to attain me. These are the conditions. Candidates should have these conditions to get in this frame of jurisdiction, this frame of compassion of Krishna. He should not strive for karma and gyan. He should not strive for attaining kingdom, but only desire to attain me. Do we have this? Do we only have desire to attain Krishna? We have so many desires. The mind has 10 directions, goes 10 directions, wanders in 10 directions. Today my desire is this, tomorrow my desire is that. Every hour my desire is this. To divide of all desires. See? But where is the question of being a sadhu if some type of bad behavior is visible in him? Now the same verse and the same meaning of this verse looked upon by everyone differently. Because here again we will try to understand this with our material intelligence, with material concept, So everyone will perceive this according to their different capacities and different qualifications. The same thing. So again question, but where is the question of his being a sadhu if some type of bad behavior is visible in him? Question. In response, Bhagavan says, Mantavya. Very boldly he is saying, he must be considered a sadhu. Krishna is saying. From the word Mantavya, the following injunction is indicated. Mantavya. Krishna says, Krishna says, yes, he must be considered a sadhu. From the word mantavya, the following injunction is indicated. There is a flaw in that person who does not consider him to be a sadhu. In this regard, my order alone is authoritative. I am ordering this. I am the authority. There is a flaw in that person who does not consider him to be a sadhu. There is a flaw. But everyone has to follow my authority when I boldly claim this. Understand? All mouth shut. What to say? Krishna said, my order alone is authoritative on this matter. If a person who engages in worship of you is also poorly behaved, can he be considered a partial sadhu? Again a question by Vishnu Chakra Thakur. He knows the heart of Krishna. So what is the question again? If a person who engages in worship of you is also poorly behaved, can he be considered a partial sadhu? Okay, Prabhu, you are taking so much partiality of your sadhu. It's natural attachment, you said. Okay, but it's very difficult for me to understand this. Can we call him partial sadhu instead of full sadhu? In response, Shri Bhagavan says, Eva, sadhu eva samantavya. In that verse, sadhu eva samantavya. What is the meaning eva? He is to be considered a complete sadhu. Don't think partial sadhu. One should not see that he lacks any saintly qualities. This is because he has made a staunch resolve. Samyak vyavasatihi saha. He made a strong resolve. Due to my sins, whether I go to hell or degrade to a bird or animal species, I will never give up exclusive one-pointed bhakti to Krishna. Can anyone overrule this order of Krishna? Krishna will beat you. Because he's saying, my order alone is authority. You can't overrule this. One should not see he lacks any saintly qualities. Because Bhakti Thakur said, na, कीट पतंग हुआ यथा तुआ दास बहिर्मुख ब्रह्मा नहीं मोराश. Even with my impressions, karmas, if I have to go take birth as a dog, insect, tree, or any species of life, but I will not give up your lotus feet. This is what just now they sang the bhajan. Chiradina Goriya O Charana Dasa Ache Bhoshiya Yadhamadasa. Having had the desire to take shelter of those lotus feet since time immemorial, this wretched servant simply is waiting. Bhakti hi na boli, na karo upeksha, murkha jana deho, jnana susiksha. Vishaya pipasa prapadita dase deho adhikara yugala vilase. So, what is the meaning? Please do not neglect me, saying that I am devoid of bhakti. Bhakti Thakur is teaching us. While this is like directly speaking to Krishna, please do not neglect me, saying that I am devoid of bhakti. Instead, give this ignorant person your auspicious instructions on spiritual knowledge. Give me. Because please give this servant who is afflicted by the thirst for material enjoyment, please give this the qualification to serve you in your amorous pastime. This is called begging. This is called meditation. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this song and all other songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if we read that in the translation, it looks like it's my status, my situation. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking about. Everyone takes this personal. Sometimes when I give some class, some devotees will write me, Maharaj, look like you personally telling me about this. It's not personal, that's universal. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if we read his songs, this is complete Shastra, the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And it's just like he's portraying myself in that situation. I'm in that picture. But sincerity in bhajan, that's the only value needed here. चंचल जीवन स्त्रोत्र प्रवाहिया कालेर सागरे दाय गेलो जे दिवासा नासिबे आरा एवे कृष्णा की उपाय तुमी पतित मेरा बंधु जानी है तुम्हारे नाथ. So you can right now I'm not able to sing, but this is how you can change the melody while you come to this. Chanchala jeevan srotra pravaiya kalera sagare dhai gelo je divasa nayasi beara ebe Krishna ki upay. Then Tumi patita janera bandhu जानी है तुम्हारे नाथ तुमी तो करुणा जल सिंधु. Then the next line can also be slow, but the second last, Siddha deha diya vrindavana maje sevamrita karo dana. You sang like this? Okay. So this is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So how strongly Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explaining this verse. So keep this in mind. That means kahar na kare ninda Krishna Krishna boli. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is instructing, don't criticize others. Concentrate and focus on your bhajan. Srila Gurudev said, if you criticize others, their negativity will reflect on you. If you glorify others, their positivity will reflect on you. You are not the authority to judge. Krishna is saying, I am the authority. Apiche suduracharo bhajte mam ananya bhag. That's it. Sadhur evasa mantavya. My mantavya, my order alone is authority. Or can we consider that sadhu partial sadhu? Because I see something wrong in him. He killing others. He has an illicit relation, and he's doing that. What else? Yeah, he's running after money. So partial sadhu. No, eva. Sadhur eva. The word eva here means complete sadhu because of his exclusive shelter to me. Ananya Bhak. Ananya Bhak. One point. He don't worship any other demigod. He's not running after karma and gyan. But many other details are there in that also. But this is the verse. And then Srila Gurudev gave commentary on this. In this verse, Bhagwan, who is very affectionate to his devotee, means Bhakt Vatsa. We can't even Chaitanya Daya Karo Vichar Kari Chitte Pabe Chamatkar. If we get thoughtful of seeing the Daya, the compassion of Mahaprabhu, we'll get astonished because they're looking from higher plane. They're looking from higher domain. And we are looking from the ground floor. Or sometimes we can say we can looking from the basement. How you can see things if you're in the basement. So everyone have their own houses, apartments on different floors. So you're seeing from first floor, he's seeing from second floor, he's seeing from third floor. Krishna is the topmost, Golok Vrindavan, from that floor. Rooftop. Sometimes, I saw one small child was with his mother. There was thunderbolt, lightning, very heavy. The child asked the mother, "Mommy, what is this? Sometimes I see big flashlights. It's so thunderstorm. What is this? It just terrify my heart." The mother said, "Now, mother, how she has to explain in simple words." She said, "No, because this flashlight, child, like you have a camera with you and you take pictures. Krishna from the top, he's taking pictures. What's happening in this city? And then report to the police. The flashlight is like pictures. What sins are going on? What offenses are going on? Taking pictures. And then later, who comes in that camera? Let's see." Bhagwan is very affectionate to his devotees, is explaining the inconceivable power of his bhakti by making a declaration. What is a declaration? Even if my devotee is seen to be engaged in an abominable act, I will very quickly transfer him into an exalted person of impeccable behavior. One cannot transgress the sadhan, but Krishna said, I will transfer him to an exalted position. From that abominable position to an elevated position, I will transform. There is no possibility of bad behavior in such perfect persons who take shelter of exclusive devotion to me. Even if they appear to be badly behaved in the eyes of ignorant persons, in reality they are not. They are definitely saintly. What to speak of the ignorant, even big scholars cannot understand the actions and the moves of the Vaishnavas. Even scholars. In Chaitanya Charitamrita is mentioned, Vaishnava Kriya Mudra Vijnana Bujhai. It is not possible to understand the behavior of Uttam Adhikari Bhaktas with one's material senses. While warning a Brahmin resident of Navdeep to not disrespect Sri Nityan Prabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Mahaprabhu warning one Brahmin when he sees the activities of Nityan Prabhu to be very extraordinary, not according to the behavior, the design behavior. Mahaprabhu said, Shuno Vipra, Mahadhikari Yeva Hai, Tabe Tan Dosha Gun Kichuna Janmai. There is no possibility of good or bad material qualities, even touching an Uttam Bhagavat or a pure devotee. Those who continue to view him as lowly will go to hell. Brahmin, there is no possibility of good or bad material qualities, even touching an Uttam Bhagavat. Similarly, Krishna instructed Arjun, Uddhava. So this has connection with Bhagavatam, this verse of Gita. नामय एकांत भक्तानां गुण दोष भाव गुणः साधूनां समचित्तानां बुद्धै परमं उपयेष्याम. Bhagavatam 11 Canto. There is no possibility of the piety or sin that results from the performance of prescribed or forbidden activities coming to my exclusive devotees. There is no possibility of sin or piety. So, who are free from attachment and envy, who have equal vision towards everyone, and who have attained Bhagwan, who is beyond mundane intelligence. Equal vision. Who has equal vision? That's the qualities of sadhus. They are surid, well-wisher, and equal. So, if a sadhu is giving class, okay, Gurudev giving class, is there any partiality? Or those who are sitting in front, for them I will speak something different. Those who are sitting in the back, I'm speaking to them different. Those who are sitting in the right, different. Those on the left, different. The male section different, female section different. Because Gurudev have only one lotus lip, and same katha is flowing. Holy river Ganga is flowing. So if a human being is drinking water of Ganga, it becomes more sweet. Or if a deer come and drink the water of Ganga, it becomes less sweet. Is it like that? If a bird comes and drink water, oh, it's less sweet. If the tree is drinking those water, it's more sweet. Or is it equal? If Gurudev is speaking Harikatha, it's equally for everyone. Now it's different recipients who take that differently. The mercy of Krishna flows equally. Gurudev speaking or Gurudev training someone. Our Gurudev training us. They have no partiality. Who develops the partiality? Disciple. They create that partiality. They create that discrimination. Yes, we see this. No, he's not our Guru. He's not our Gurudev. Our Gurudev will come, then we will do more better. Save money. Because our Gurudev will come after 3 months. Then we'll give him more donation. He's not our Gurudev. So give him less. Give him $10. But our Gurudev will come, give him 100. Because he's ours. This is created from the very low level. And that shows the consciousness. That's a low level consciousness. But when Gurudev comes, whoever it is, when he's speaking Harikatha, just think yourself. Is that Harikatha has some partiality or is equally given to everyone from the same lotus lips, from the same mouth? To only see everyone in the audience get upliftment. Equally. But the lower section, because of material consideration and material understanding, they start creating this. And as a result, reactions come. As a result, problem comes. As a result, then try to solve that. Understand? This happens on a lower level. So here Krishna is saying, my exclusive devotees who are free from attachment and envy, who have equal vision towards everyone, and who have attained Bhagwan, who is beyond mundane intelligence. This verse directly applies in connection with Bhagavad Gita. Yet, one should always remember that the apparently poor behavior of such Ananya Bhaktas is not to be imitated. Okay, now many more further details are coming up with by the explanation of Srila Gurudev. We're going to hear tomorrow. Isn't it eye-opening? And is giving so much inspiration and better understanding? Yes. Exclusive devotion, Ananya Bhak. That's a very important point in that verse. Once upon a time, one complaint came to Gurudev. I was with him about someone acting very badly, ill behaved, and Gurudev gave some judgment. We were surprised. Huh? He excused that person, even though it was proved he's wrong. So that person gone, and later it was being asked to Gurudev, why are you taking so lightly? And Gurudev said, after wandering in many species of life, one get this opportunity to start doing bhajan. After wandering so many species of life and so many births, how can I reject that person who just got admission in the school and he got failed? I can't just kick him out because you failed and I'm kicking you out. No. I have to give more attention to him because I want him to elevate in a better class. My attention will more towards him. But we were not able to understand this. No, that's not correct. But that's our understanding. But Gurudev and Krishna, they are aligned. Then Gurudev said, if you do something wrong, then remember the past time Mahaprabhu rejecting Chota Haridas. That's the chastisement of Mahaprabhu. If you do something wrong. But if you see someone else doing wrong, then obey this order of Krishna. Apiche Suduracharo Bhashte Mam Ananya Bhak. Considered him to be a saintly person. Two different things. If it is on you, you have to take this example of Mahaprabhu. And if you see another, then you have to take this example of Bhagavad Gita. In other words, Gurudev want to say, Kahar na kare ninda, Krishna Krishna bole. Concentrate on your sadhan, on your bhajan. But there are many other details we're going to hear tomorrow what the Gurudev has to say about this further. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai Shri Krishna Chandra Ki Jai.